Truck Month, like a pro. During GMC's Truck Month, get 0% financing on most GMC Sierra and Canyon models. Or get over $9,500 total value on the Sierra SLT when you finance.
Ain't never gonna stop. To the top, to the top. Ain't never gonna stop. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Destiny is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be legendary. Will I fall? Legends made when faith is strong. No time to bleed. I'm conquering. Far out my life. I'm pushing the pain. I'm from the price. Some people wanna turn and run, but the strong rise under the gun. Top to the top. Ain't never gonna stop. To the top, to the top. Ain't never gonna stop. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Destiny is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be legendary. Every day I fight to be legendary. Wings are made to fly, made to fly. Fears are born to die, born to die. Pushing through the pain, through the pain. Pushing through, breaking through, whatever it takes, what I gotta do. Keep the light on, give it all that I got. Never will stop till I get to the top. To the top, ain't never gonna stop. To the top, to the top. Ain't never gonna stop. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Destiny is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be legendary. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Destiny is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be me tonight. I'm closer to the edge tonight. Standing on the ledge. So why won't you reach out your hand and save me tonight? I'm damaged if you dare tonight. It feels like no one cares. So why can't I come up for air? Just save me. What are you waiting for? Someone save me. Reaching for the light, reaching from inside. Help me tonight. I'm closer to the edge tonight. I'm standing on the ledge. So why won't you reach out your hand and save me tonight? I'm damaged if you dare tonight. It feels like no one cares. So why can't I come up for air? Just save me tonight. I'm closer to the edge tonight. I'm standing on the ledge. So why won't you reach out your hand and save me? What are you waiting for? Someone save me. The secret side of me, I never let you see. I keep it caged, but I can't control it. So stay away from me, the beast is ugly. I feel the rage and I just can't hold it. It's scratching on the walls, in the closet, in the halls. It comes awake and I can't control it. Hiding under the bed, in my body, in my head. Why won't somebody come and save me from this? Make it end. I feel it deep within, it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I hate what I've become, the nightmare's just begun. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I feel like a monster. I feel like a monster. My secret side I keep hid under lock and key. I keep it caged, but I can't control it. 'Cause if I let him out, he'll tear me up, break me down. Why won't somebody come and save me from this? Make it end. I feel it deep within, it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I hate what I've become, the nightmare's just begun. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I feel it deep within, it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I feel like a monster. I feel like a monster. It's hiding in the dark, its teeth are razor sharp. There's no escape for me, it wants my soul, it wants my heart. No one can hear me scream, maybe it's just a dream. Maybe it's inside of me, stop this monster. I feel it deep within, it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I hate what I've become, the nightmare's just begun. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I feel it deep within, it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I gotta lose control, it's something radical. I must confess that I feel like a monster. 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 This ain't a song for the broken hearted. ground, she stood their ground. Tommy and Gina never backed down. Tomorrow's getting harder, make no mistake. Lucky, even though you gotta make your own breaks. It's my life, it's now or never. I ain't gonna live forever. I just wanna live my life. It's my life. My heart is like an open highway. Like Frankenstein, I'm dead in my way. I just wanna live my life. 'Cause it's my life. Stand tall when they're calling you out. Don't bend, don't break, baby, don't back down. It's my life, it's now or never. 'Cause I ain't gonna live forever. I just wanna live my life. It's my life. My heart is like an open highway. But like I said, I'm dead in my way. I just wanna live my life. It's my life. It's now or never. I ain't gonna live forever. I just wanna live my life. It's my life. It's like an open highway. But like I said, I'm dead in my way. I just wanna live my life. It's my life.
What's up, everyone? I think we got everything going forth here. I went ahead and had to tune into the live stream audio just to make sure everything was running as it should. Hopefully it was. So let me know how you guys are, how the audio video is. It looks like everything's working. So let me know if you're here, and I'll give you guys shout outs as I see them, but we got 10 people watching right now. Let me just turn on the audio right here just to be sure that we are good. Perfect. Wow. Yeah, great. We are doing good. I did lower the bit rate just to make sure everything was going to come through clearly, and it looks like everything's doing good. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and take these out because I don't need to monitor the audio anymore. Looks like everything will be okay. So buffering, yeah, looks like buffering's okay. Just but let me know if you have any audio issues or video buffering issues, and hopefully I can get it sorted out. But so yeah, let me know how you guys doing. Just go ahead and drop your comment. Let me know that you're here. It's going to be a fun evening where this will be this is the Eruption release party. I know this has been very long awaited by many of you, by myself even. Yeah. It took me 4 years from the time that Volume 1 was written and released to finish Volume 2. So that just kind of shows you how busy my life has been. But I just wanted to shout out to some people who are on here. This is Rutherford WX, Shamar Davis, all you guys, Little Miss Devious, Red-Eyed Isaac, all of you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. It really means a lot to me. So yeah, I'm just gonna see if any more people will join, and then we're gonna get right on to the discussion about this story. If you have any questions about the story, about myself, you know, whatever you may have, just let me know, and I'm monitoring the chat on the TV screen, and yeah, it's gonna be great. Okay, so yeah. It looks like we're holding steady, about 10 to 11 people or so, so I think that's enough to get started. You guys have been waiting long enough. Okay, cool. And my computer's not killing itself, and that's great. And the video quality's, you know, it's okay, but it's good enough for you to see me. So, okay, here we go. The Eruption. So in the comments, just let me know how many of you have read or have a copy of Volume 1. Just let me know. I'm just curious. I know many of you do not have a copy of Volume 1 yet. Volume 1 was written. The story, I began to write the story in 2013, and I finished it in 2015. And initially, I had released that story to several people in the EAS community when it first came out. So several people do have a copy of Volume 1, and I know some people caught up with me later on and requested a copy and things like that. So, yeah. So, yeah, just curious to see how many of you have a copy of Volume 1. I know a lot of you have probably been brought here by the scenario that was posted here in 2015. So that makes sense. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I am the writer behind the story. I mean, most of you do know that. I mean, obviously, but whatever. Yeah. So this story is very long. It makes one continuous story. There's no like separate plot line with Volume 2 compared to Volume 1. Everything just kind of runs together into one big, it makes one big story. So hello, Tim Lambert. So that's why, for those of you who are receiving the story tonight, I do have multiple email addresses, and I'm going to be working on that at the end of this stream here. If you have not read The Eruption and you're interested in reading it, make sure you read Volume 1. Make sure you do that. Very important, because if you jump right into Volume 2, you're going to be lost, because there's a lot that happens before the events begin in Volume 2. Because Volume 2 picks up on right where Volume 1 left off. For those of you who read Volume 1, you'll know that at the very end of the story there's a giant, huge cliffhanger in the plot, and it's taken 4 years to write the resolution to it. You don't need to buy a copy. If I have your email address, and I'm gonna see if I can find a way to maybe post a link, but it's all PDF and all that. So you don't have to buy a copy. It's not published. I'm not charging for it. I'm not. Now, when Volume 1 came out, right here, I did have it in this kind of nice little paper form. It was even in its own little plastic casing kind of thing. It's really neat. I'm not offering that this time just because I don't have access to mass printing like I did with this. My mom had an office job at a church, and that's what enabled me to do this for free of charge. So I'm not gonna. So I'm not offering this in paper form. Sorry, at least not right now. But yeah, make sure if you are interested in receiving a copy that I do have your email address, because I'm sending out a mass email delivering both the reformatted Volume 1 and the new Volume 2 that will occur tonight. So just make sure that. And again, I may, if it makes it easier, I may try to post a link in here so you guys can just freely have it. But it'd probably be easier to just have everyone's email. Okay, so let's talk about some facts of the story. So here's Volume 1, the paper version. This is the first version I ever released of the story. I still have its original. Now, I am re-releasing the story tonight, Volume 1, along with Volume 2, because, let me see how well I can show this to you. This is what the story kind of looks like. And you know what? That'll just come out. That's fine. This is what it looks like. Okay, like it's not bad, but this is not the correct format for a novel. And at the time that I released this, I didn't know. I mean, I've always loved to write, but I've never written it like an actual novel, and I didn't realize that, you know, dialogue should be broken up and these, and I have a tendency to write enormous paragraphs like this. This paragraph's a whole damn page. So what I did is I went back through and I reformatted everything. Nothing changed with the plot at all with Volume 1. I just made it easier for people to read. I increased the spacing of the words. I broke up the paragraphs so they're not, you know, like one whole page is an entire paragraph kind of thing. It's not fun. So that's what I did. That increased the pages of Volume 1 dramatically. Volume 1 was 60 pages long when it's all in its condensed form like this. It is now 128, I believe, Volume 1. So I didn't add much to it. I did change. There was also some grammar errors that I overlooked. There's actually several grammar and spelling errors that I overlooked. And so, hang on one second. Let me see this text message. Noise. Yeah, Red-Eyed Isaac has his still has his copy. You just sent me a photo of that. That's cool. But anyways, so that's what I did. You'll notice, for those of you who have the original Volume 1, you'll notice it'll look much better. But if you've already read Volume 1, there's probably not really much reason to reread it, because like I said, the plot line's still the same. If you want to catch yourself up, I know it's been 4 years since the release. You know, it may do you good. Okay, hello to Star Angel. You can have it. I have to know your email though. And to Wheeler YT, hello to you. And yeah, thank you to Little Mischievous. I'm glad you enjoyed the part 1 of the story. So collectively, so Volume 1. Okay, Volume 1 is 129 pages, not 128. So it's 129 for that and 123 for Volume 2. So cumulatively, because I don't want to do mental math right now, I'm just going to get the calculator out. So 123 and 129. So in total, the Eruption story is 252 pages long. Really, so I mean, it's a novel. It's my first ever novel. Yes, yeah, go ahead. If you have me on Facebook, make sure you just send me your email. Again, I will be sending it off at the end of the stream, like right when it's done. So, yeah. So that's the length of this. You know, it'll take you a little time to read it, of course, but ES Alert 88, he says, so essentially we'll be getting a reformatted Volume 1 and the new. Yes, that is what is released tonight. I will be sending both. Yeah. So I want to show you guys something. So just to show you how much work has gone into these stories. So hang on, maybe I can also show you these. I just want to show you all the work that I've put into this story for the last 6 years. So the electronic version is coming out, right? Both of these stories started off completely handwritten. So this is Volume 1 right here. I have it in a binder. It's all in loose leaf paper, right? I do not have a Discord server. I wrote the whole darn thing out on paper. This is all loose leaf except for these last few pages. These came out of a notebook. But that was 110 pages of notebook or loose leaf / notebook paper when it first came out, or when I first wrote it. So amazing, right? And then in addition to that, all of the plot line for the story was sketched out on paper. Like I wrote down all the ideas that I had here and here. I even mapped things out. Like I even mapped like where certain events happen within the Yellowstone region. There's some maps I didn't use. Yeah, but like right here, this is just to show you some of the events that happen on, this is in Volume 2. Like I have the actual map of Yellowstone caldera. And the timeline right there. But yeah, so I put a lot of work into this, and this is why it took so long. And well, not only that, but I also was in college, and that really slowed the process of this whole thing down. But now I'm out of college, and so I was able to actually finish the story here. And then Volume 2, it's still in the notebook, actually. I haven't, I'm actually going to move it to the binder here. Volume 2 was written in a notebook with wider ruling, so you could fit more words on the pages, but it's 104 pages of notebook paper. Volume 1 actually ended up just being a slightly longer, I found out. Volume 1 is about 39,000 words, and 2 is about 38,000, like 700 something, so it's just a few hundred words longer, but they're about the same. Yeah, you guys, don't worry about it. We're all here to be friends, so just feel free to stick around. So that's a little bit about my story. Let's see, what else can I tell you? What do you want to know about my story? I don't want to give you any spoilers, but I can talk about it if you guys would like a little bit more information about it. Yeah, if you guys know, the story began in 2013 with a phone call to a friend of mine. My friend Adam. We like to go on the phone and talk about crazy things, like what we call surrealist stories. You make these surrealist stories, you take one little thing and you blow it out of proportion. So that's where the idea came from. I'm like, what if I wrote a story about this, about Yellowstone? So yes, people have asked. It is about Yellowstone. I have a lot of geology knowledge swimming around in my head. That's something not all of you may know. But I took, I don't know why I'm holding this right now. So yeah, so I'm explaining to you now, Wheeler. So I was on a phone call with my friend Adam, and we went through this phase where we would make up surrealist stories. Like, for example, one of our stories we made was like, what if you had a shower that was so hot that the air rose out of your bathroom vent and it kept rising under the right conditions and created a hurricane or something like that? That's surrealism. You take something that's really like simple and you just blow it to something that's completely irrational. So in a way, the Yellowstone supervolcano it's a very hyped volcano. It does have that potential, to explode, but it's so incredibly unlikely. With like the current phase that it's in, there's unrest at the volcano, but basically this story takes some like ordinary or relatively ordinary Yellowstone unrest and blows it out of proportion. That's the whole idea of surrealism. So the little slogan of the story is when surrealism becomes a real nightmare. And so that's what it is. And so that's how everything kind of came together. I'm just like, yeah, what if I like wrote a story about Yellowstone? Because that's really hot in the media. And he thought that he's like, that'd be a cool idea. And I was kind of trying to determine if I was going to like handwrite it and then type it out or just type it all out. But he was like, all great things start off handwritten. And so that I'm just like, all right, well, I'll handwrite it then. And so I wrote everything out. Took me 2 years to complete Volume 1, and then I typed it out, released it to people. And then, of course, Volume 2 took a lot longer. Okay, Star Angel asked, actually, Red Alert asks, what caused Yellowstone? Yellowstone it's a volcano. It's caused by a hot spot. There's an upwelling of heat underneath Earth's crust. And so the crust prevents that magma from escaping, so it builds into this very large reservoir of magma. And so that is what causes Yellowstone. If that can be held down long enough, it can lead to super eruptions. So Star Angel, what inspired you to use Yellowstone in your story? Well, I've had a fascination with it since 8th grade. We covered Yellowstone in one of our volcano topics in my science class. And so I became fascinated with it ever since then. We watched a docudrama. It's called Super Volcano. It was released in 2005 by the BBC, or I think BBC or something like that. And so that inspired me to use Yellowstone. But it's not this story, although it is scientific at times, and there's a lot of a lot of real geological data about Yellowstone in the stories. I mean, the story is fictional because I made the plot myself, and it's more than just like a scientific paper. I mean, the story has families in there, and they're trying to survive this eruption. And that's really what this whole story is stemmed around. Volume 1 is a lot about the build-up leading up to an eruption, and Volume 2 is the events that take place as it's going on with between the families that are involved in the story, and it goes a little bit beyond that as well, and you'll find that out when you read the story. But it's I think it's a great story. I was still in high school when I wrote Volume 1. I was still in high school, and my writing skills back then, they were good, but they weren't great. Like I have never sat down to actually sit here and write out an entire story like that, like a full-blown story. I've always written short stories. That's been my thing. This is my first time actually writing out this huge plot like that. And so so there's a lot of things I didn't know about writing novels when I wrote Volume 1. So in my opinion, Volume 2 is a lot better. The plot is much more intense. Hang on one second. The plot of Volume 2 is a lot more intense, but it's just much better written. I have more knowledge about geology, and I can write better. I can write with more detail. So I think you guys who have read Volume 1 are going to enjoy Volume 2 even more. And I know Volume 1, a lot of people said it was really good. I think you'll love Volume 2 10 times as more. Lacrosse, hey man, I have a question. What was this story based off of your interest in the EAS community? It was not. Although I will say that you'll definitely, if you haven't read the story, you'll definitely see some influences of the EAS community in my story. So I did incorporate it into there, but it's not based off of the interest of the EAS. My interest in the ES community. So, as you guys know, that there was a whole scenario written based off of my story, and a lot of you loved it. But I mean, this is not one giant EAS scenario. Like that's not what I wrote it to be for. I wrote it as an actual novel, like a plot line, and then that scenario was based off of the plot. Hopefully that answers your question. I will say that there are some like in-story EAS alerts that you guys can enjoy. I did incorporate that especially into the second part of the story. But yeah, this was all based off of my fascination with volcanoes, particularly Yellowstone, and my love for writing, which I know is a hobby that not everybody gets into, but I definitely love to write. Back in the 4th and 5th grades, I actually wrote these short stories. I wrote like over 50 of them between 4th and 5th grade. And it was just all on my imagination, basically. Okay, so back then I had an obsession with like supercars, and so hang on, yeah, sorry, I got distracted. So I love supercars, so I like use my imagination and kind of like animate them and tie them into like events that were going on in my life at that time. And so I have like 40 or 50 like short stories written from like 4th and 5th grade. Not all just supercars and all that, but a lot of them were. But that just kind of shows you how far back my writing influences go. And yes, just so you guys know, like I said before, it's free of charge. We'll be sending out electronically through emails. They'll be in a PDF, a PDF document, just so everyone can read it. I highly, highly recommend not reading this in Google Docs. So I'm going to send it as a PDF. When I open it in Google Docs today to give it like a little test ahead of time, it screwed up the formatting of everything, so I highly recommend reading it in a PDF viewer of some sort, just to keep the formatting all correct, and to make it easy to read. But Google Docs for some reason likes to screw it up. I don't know why, but so just so you guys know. Okay, I'll be checking my Facebook. On a quick tangent here, Kaylee Troutman asks, "What is my favorite tornado siren ever?" That is the Thunderbolt, and that's pretty, typical of siren enthusiasts. But I got a Thunderbolt 2 blocks from my house, and it sounds wonderful when it goes off. Okay. Oh, what can I tell you about this story and not give it away? Well, you know what? I will at least read the prelude section here. Okay, awesome. Let me read the prelude to you. You might have seen it from the trailer that I played at the very beginning of this. The prelude, I'll just read it, and the prelude goes for Volume 2 as well. It's for the whole story. So it says here, this story portrays a real-life viewpoint from 2 teenagers during a rare and extremely catastrophic natural disaster. A young teenage boy moves to rural Wyoming, and shortly thereafter, things start to get weird. The surrealist PowerPoint presentation was only for show, but after the earth begins to tremble, their little class project may be the told story of a terrifying disaster. Can 2 teenagers go against all odds and predict such an event? And will the world survive such a cataclysm? So, there you go. I think that's vague enough that it doesn't give things away, but gives you a good idea of what to expect in the story. Because again, I think most of you on here have just seen the scenario, but haven't actually read the story. And again, okay, so like I keep saying, because I know a couple other people just joined here, to get a hold of the story, you need to contact me. If you have me on Facebook, do that. You can message me through Matting 1997 Productions. That's my social media page. You can do that, or you can DM me here on YouTube. I'll be checking those, but you have to give me your email address so you can receive your copy of it. Otherwise, you will not be able to obtain a copy. So just so you know. Okay, what else? Questions? Anything about the story? What do you want to know? I'm not, again, I'm not gonna give away, any major spoilers, but I can give you some information about the plot if you want, and I'll try to make it as vague as I can so you guys can find out for yourselves. Yes, Red-Eyed Isaac says, I highly encourage you to read the story before watching the scenario. LOL. Correct. Absolutely. Definitely, because then you can know what happens in the plot, and then you can watch the scenario and you'll be like, I remember that. It's right here in the story, or something like that. Gives you a better idea of what's actually going on, instead of just suddenly getting these random EAS alerts in the scenario, and you're like, oh, well, what's actually happening? I mean, I don't know, something like that. But anyways, so yeah, definitely recommend reading this before you watch the scenario. But I know a lot of you have already seen the scenario, so anyways. Star Angel says, I don't have any more questions, just memes. I have a lot of memes as well. Yeah, that's a better way of putting it. You get the full experience that way. That's good. But yeah, let's see what else. I have a list of all the characters here pinned up to my wall. It's actually not all the characters. There's a few I forgot, but so for those of you who have read Volume 1, Volume 2 actually introduces several new characters, and it also takes one character that was kind of a minor character of Volume 1 and makes him a major character for Volume 2. So, not going to tell you who, But there's another little hint or another little thing that you that I can give you for Volume 2. Still gonna make part 2 of your scenario. Well, I don't know. Will he? Will he not? The world may never know. Memes are definitely wonderful. They make the world go round. So yeah. Trying to think of what else I can tell you about this story without giving away spoilers. Is Yellowstone yellow? I've never been there, but I do know that that it's not just yellow. It's actually mostly green because of all the vegetation growing in there. But there's all sorts of colors, and I know Red-Eyed Isaac has been there before, and he can tell you more of what it looks like. Hello, Undead EAS Productions. Glad you are here. Woo. But yeah, so other updates. Okay, so here's what's next. I'm going to reveal this. I am planning on getting this story published, like professionally. I don't know when that'll happen yet. I'm still looking into it. Oh, they meant it as a joke. Okay. But I am going to work on possibly getting the story published, and that would mean that I would probably have to go through, and there'll probably be even more edits going on. Yeah, that'll require some major editing, so I'm not in a place to do it right now. But yes, eventually I do plan on getting this story published, and you can have like a full book version of it. If it does get published, it'll be volumes 1 and 2 will be merged together because it is one story, and it'll just be one book. So, just so you guys know. So, it'll be cool. Yes, Yellowstone has a lot of geysers. It does have yellow rocks, but they're not painted. But has the world's largest collection of geysers and hot springs and mud pots, and it's I still haven't gotten out there yet. Okay, what else? What I can talk. How many pages did I say this thing was? 215. Is that right? Where did my calculator go? Okay. Oh, 252. My bad. Game Pro 12. Yes. Okay, so if it is published, yes, I will be making money off of it. But because I love you guys so very much, you guys get it for free. So you guys get it before the whole world gets it, and you get it for free of charge. What else can you want? Anyways, so let's see what else. Fun fact, Yellowstone is responsible for a large island that was added onto the North American continent. Yes, yes, believe it or not, and this is the part that most people don't understand, is that the Yellowstone hotspot has done a lot more than just create explosive calderas across the United States. Yellowstone, although, okay, so for the last 17 million years or so, the Yellowstone hotspot has produced explosive calderas, so super volcanoes from the Oregon-Nevada border all the way to northwestern Wyoming now. And the next caldera, whenever it does happen, will probably extend into Montana a little bit. But yes, Yellowstone before then probably helped to produce some of the flood basalts in the Pacific Northwest. although it may not be entirely from the Yellowstone hotspot, but I think geologists do believe that it was at least partially responsible for that. And yes, and like he said, there was an island off of Washington that it produced. It's many millions of years old, and there's even calderas up towards Canada that may have been caused by the Yellowstone hotspot. So this hotspot's been going on for, that could be a different hotspot, but they do think that it like kind of did one of these numbers where it came down and then it turned this way. But anyways, yeah, so geologically speaking, this hotspot's actually pretty young. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, GamePro 0012. If you want to give me your email address, you can send me a message on YouTube or go to my Facebook page. I believe in the description I have the link to my Facebook page. You can just private message me there, and I'll have it down for you. So like I said, so the link to my Facebook page, and you know what, just to make it easier on you guys, let me go ahead and just pull that up real fast and put it in the chat here. If you need to send me your email, I'll just give you the link to my Facebook page that you can just send it. It's going to be slow because most of my CPU is going for this live stream. Sorry, you may experience some buffering right now. I'm not sure, but why is that all weird? Okay, weird. All right. So I'm going to copy this link for you guys and paste it into... There you are, guys. If you want to copy the story, there's your link. You just send me your email through that, and I'll have it down. And like I said, I will be sending it right after this live stream. Yes, that's right. Yeah. And for those of you who also don't know, Red-Eyed Isaac also has a lot of geology knowledge as well. He's actually pursuing a degree. So, okay, yep, Star Angel, I got yours, and I have yours down. And like I said, you'll be receiving that here in just a little bit once we stop this stream. All right, what else do we got here for you? Yeah, okay, so if this early version of this story was as long as the new version is, it probably wouldn't even fit in this little casing thing right here. All right, I'm glad you guys did, and like I said, I will be checking that chat soon. This is really exciting, actually. I didn't realize there were so many people who hadn't read it yet, read the first part of the story yet. So I'm really excited to share even that first part with you. You'll have to let me know how you like it, because I know a lot of people's really enjoyed the story, and I know Red-Eyed did a really good job with this scenario, and he did a very good job with that, and that really helped to, I think, draw people in, or I should say he can, sorry, whatever. I think it drew a lot of people in the EAS community in to the story and got people really interested, and I really appreciate him for that. So yeah. Anyways, I'm just rambling. But I think those of you who really enjoyed Volume 1 are going to love Volume 2 even more so. Just just because it's a lot more detailed, and yeah, it's even better written than Volume 1. So so I got one message, not on this chat here, but someone did ask me if there's going to be any additional parts to the story, and here's my answer. So the story of the Eruption, it's not going any further. The story's done. I think the plot's been very well complete. There's not going to be any Volume 3. However, I will not rule out the possibility of what you call like prequels or sequels get written. I'm not in any notion to do that right now, and it's not in the plans to do it, but I don't want to say it will never happen. But the story itself, the plot line of the Eruption, has been written thoroughly. There's no reason to continue it, but there could be some spin-off stories based off of it. If I got, positive reception, if people really wanted it, if I got the motivation to do it. But yeah, so that was just one question that someone sent me a little while back. I just wanted to address that now in case someone else asked about it. Actually did have a few ideas of possible additional stories that would fit the timeline, like either before or even afterwards. But no, I'm in no place to do that right now. So don't expect it. If it does happen, it won't be anytime soon. So, Tim Lambert, thank you for the subscription, and to EAS buddy, thank you for joining in. I see you later. But yeah, thank you for joining and tuning in here. I did want to mention that some of you who answered yes, that you're interested in the stories on my poll in the Facebook groups, most of you responded and gave me your email, but a few of you did not. So if you're on here and you responded yes to that poll, and you did not send me your email, make sure you do that, because I can't send it to you until I know your email. So anyways, let me make sure I got some of whoever's has sent me their emails. I just want to make sure I got it in. Holly, I got yours. I think I mentioned that before. I did get yours. I just wanted to make sure. Let's see if anyone else. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So I got whoever sent theirs in. So. Yeah, I'll check out your channel, Tim Lambert, and give you a subscription. Yeah, definitely. I'll do that after this stream. Okay. So we'll probably end the stream around 7-ish, approximately. But what do you guys want to know? Well, let's start with any questions about the story first, and if there is no questions, we can talk about other things. But I won't stay on here for terribly long. But let me know what questions do you have about the story, about the process of writing the story. My inspirations. You can ask whatever you would like. I know I've covered a lot though, so. I'm still monitoring the chat, of course. Got 9 people watching. All right, cool beans. I think that it looks like the video quality still okay. Like I said, I lowered the bit rate just to make sure there's no buffering issues. But you don't need a crystal clear look at my face either. It's just a face. It's a little scruffy face. I need a shave. Wheeler YT, you ask, what are your future plans with stories and stuff? Okay, so I have a couple other. I have one other story project laying around that I started I think later this winter. It's called Paleo Flood. I haven't finished it. I don't expect that to be a novel. That's going to be more on the short story type thing. I started writing it because I had this idea and I didn't want to lose the idea, so I wrote for a little while. And I'm like, this could turn into a story. And so there's a possibility that I may finish that and put that out as a short story. But that's called Paleo Flood, and you could probably figure out what that is. Paleo Flood is it's obviously centered around flooding, right? But there's an ancient lake up in the northern United States. It's a glacial lake that dried up. It was called Lake Agassiz. And it's basically a story, or what I've written so far of it. Ooh, nice. Anyways, dinner will be done soon. So it's about that lake returning, basically. A big flood happening and the lake returns. So that's kind of what Paleo Flood's like. So I have that. That would probably be the most immediate thing that I could work on, because I've already started it. Other plans, I don't have any. Actually, no, that's a lie. There's actually another story, and this one's just kind of more or less of a comedy. It's actually a joint project between me and my fiance. We started writing a story together some time ago, and we haven't visited it in well over a year, but we got an interesting little plot on there. It's more of a comedy kind of thing. It's kind of cheesy, but that's a possible plan. And like I said, there's always that possibility that I could write, some additional stories that are kind of like spin-offs off of the Eruption. So those are my writing plans, I guess you could say. There's a lot going on in my life right now, so I don't expect to really have much time to keep writing, but I would love to keep writing because it's something I really, really love to do. Was there EAS during the eruption? Okay, so if you watched the scenario of the Eruption Volume 1 that was put up by Heat Cats, that was based off of the plot, but it also included some in-story EAS alerts. So there are some EAS in the story, and I did that specifically because I know it would appeal to the EAS community, and so you guys could really enjoy that. So yes, there are EAS in the story. Yes, I am getting married in August. Believe it or not, it's a little less than 2 months away. So yes, that is happening. So that's kind of why I was really, really adamant at finishing this story, and the fact that it's been so long and people's been asking me, and when's it going to be done, and I feel bad that I gave several potential target dates of it getting released over the last few years, and they've never come to life because life kept getting in the way. So it was like March time this year, and I'm just like, you know what? I need to finally just do this. Get it written. It's the end of my college career, and I'm going to have a little bit of time this summer, and I'm just going to get it done. And so I just started writing like crazy in March to finish this story. But the really nice thing that I did is that I had everything kind of sketched out on paper. So I could just kind of pick up right where I left off and not, and be able to remember what I was writing about, what the plot was doing. And so I was able to just jump right back in, and that was really nice, and I'm glad I did that. But anyways, so yeah, it's all done now. I'm so excited. Hello, Colton. Thank you for joining. Colton is our main dispatcher on Severe Weather and ES Enthusiasts on Zello. He's done a great job. Just want to give you a shout out because you've done such a great job, man. Yeah, thank you, Star Angel. Yeah, thank you so much. And food is going to be waiting for me. I think we'll end around 7 o'clock Central Time. And then, like I said, I will be sending out the mass email right when we're done, and it'll be released to you guys. Again, okay, so if you haven't sent me your email, don't worry. Like, if I send it out and then you send it to me after I've already sent it, don't worry. I can still send it to you, so it's not going to be a big deal. But again, if you scroll up in the chat, you'll see the link to my Facebook profile. Not my personal one, my one for my my YouTube channel. Excuse me. So it's there. So all you need to do is just send me a PM with your email, and I will put it down, and then you'll be a part of the mass email I'm gonna send. So yeah. So just wanted to throw that out there. I'll probably say it at least one more time before I get off of here. But let's just make sure I have it. Oh, excuse me. I'm not talking. No. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for the congratulations. I'm really excited for it. It's gonna be a really fun time. It's gonna be awesome. She's really great, and yeah, I think we're gonna have many happy years together. I'm excited. Anyways, side tangent. Let's see. All right, you guys. 7 o'clock is my planned ending, unless we get additional questions. So, got 6 minutes to just fire them away. I'm gonna go ahead and get my while you guys may be thinking of questions. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my Gmail. Hopefully, it doesn't kill my computer. It shouldn't, but it might. Now I'm gonna start preparing the email for you guys. Alright, loading Gmail. Okay, perfect. We will be set to do the mass email here soon. And I just wanted to shout out to Red Eyed Isaac for making the cover of this that you see here in the background. That'll actually be the cover to my story. So he made that for me, and I greatly appreciate that. It looks really nice. Yeah. So, any questions? Any questions at all? Still got 5 minutes before the planned end of my stream. And again, if we get a bunch of questions, I can keep going. But that's just my target is in the next 5 minutes here. So. And keep me in the loop, guys. I want to know how you guys like this story. You can just send me a message on Facebook or whatever, or make a comment on one of my videos. I want to know how you guys like the story. And if you have any questions about the story or the timeline as you read it, feel free to message me. But alright, I'm going to let them know I'm going to be upstairs soon. Telling her I'm going to be upstairs in a few minutes so I can eat food. I'm hungry. I don't know about you guys, but whew, I'm getting hungry. So that's the plan. I'm probably going to go up there, eat, and then come back and do the mailing for everyone. So then you guys can get right on to reading the story. But yeah.
2066 kind of gets back to the Smart. Smart, you there?
No, my Zella's still open. I forgot. Anyways, you'll really notice. I mentioned this at the beginning part of the stream. Okay, I need to mute that real fast. Okay. What was I saying? I said at the beginning of the stream, you'll notice that through the beginning of Volume 1 to the end of Volume 2, you'll just kind of see my writing skills just get slowly progress better and better and better. You'll just see how the details become much more. It becomes much more detailed the further you get into the story. Because I must say the first few chapters of Volume 1 were really rushed, or not like rushed, but like they go by really quick. But it gets a lot more detailed the further you go into the story, and that's partly because that's just partly how the plot goes, anyways. But it's also just me having a much better idea of how to write a full-blown novel, and so you'll be able to see that clearly with the writing. And the characters do change a little bit. They go through a lot of trauma, so their actions compared to from Volume 1 to 2, they change. They definitely change, and you'll see that as you go through the story. GamePro. Okay. Is there... I'm pretty sure you can send me a DM on YouTube. Am I right? Hang on. How to... Sorry, the dogs are barking. PM on YouTube. Is that possible? That is possible. It should be. Okay, so here we go. I just looked this up on Google because I've never done it, but I've gotten messages before. It says go to a user's channel, type in a user's name into the search bar. I think, okay, so if you go to my channel, you should be able to click on the About tab, and it's near the top right of the page. You click the message icon, you type the message, and then click send, and I should get a notification for it. So you have to just go to my channel. Oh, did they disable it? Oh no, really? Let me check that out for you real quick while I'm at it. Let's see here. About. You know what? You might be right. Oh, shoot. Darn. Darn. Okay, that sucks. Well, how else can we do this? Red-Eyed Isaac, do you have any suggestions? What do you think I could do about that? Yeah, there you go. Do you have Twitter or something like that? Any other social media? I am on Twitter. There you go. Do that. You send me. Okay. Here, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Send your email to me and my user is. Okay, so there's my username on Twitter. It's newsstation24. Just send me a DM on Twitter, and I can get that for you. So there you go. Yeah, and I didn't even think about that. So there's another option. If you guys have a Twitter, you can send it to me on there. Didn't even think about that. Thank you. Okay. Anyways, all right. So we're gonna wrap this up now, just because I got dinner waiting for me. So, and I've said pretty much everything that I need to say. So just to recap everything, I'm gonna go upstairs and eat, and then I'm gonna prepare the there you go. Yeah, that's an option too. I'm gonna go upstairs, eat. It won't take me long. Then I'm gonna come back and prepare the email for everybody. And once I get all the emails that I have down, I'm gonna send it all out to you guys. and you'll have your very own copy of the reformatted Volume 1 and the brand new Volume 2 of The Eruption. Make sure you read Volume 1 first, because it's all one continuous story, just written in 2 different parts. Alright. And again, you might have the option to open it in Google Docs. I just want to let you guys know, and I'll put it in the email. Don't read it in Google Docs, because it'll screw up the formatting and it'll make it hard to read. So make sure you read it in a PDF viewer or something like that. So you want to download the file that I send in the Gmail or through email, and then read it through a PDF viewer or something like that. And that'll be your best option, because that'll keep all the formatting the same without Google Docs screwing everything up for you. So, all right, you guys, I really appreciate all of you being here. This is very exciting for me. I can finally, close this whole Well, I wouldn't say I can't completely close the process, because I do plan on publishing the story. So once I get rolling on that, then I'll have a whole nother thing to do with the story. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much. Again, send if you are interested in the copy, send it to me. Send me your email through Facebook, my Facebook page. You can just send me a PM there, or on Twitter, or that's cool, or kind of funny. A tornado warning in Wyoming, and this whole story is based in Wyoming and Idaho, basically. So, yeah, that's kind of funny. And a little eye round. Yeah, it's a little eye round. Okay. Anyways, that is all I got. Oh, excuse me. So, expect your probably shouldn't take any longer than an hour to get me to complete this, to get the story delivered to everyone. So, and if you miss this initial mailing, don't worry. Just send me your email. I'll go ahead and send it to you if you miss it. So, that's all I got for you guys. So, I'm gonna sign off now. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will see you later. Maybe. Turn off. Ah!